Hey friends, welcome back to the Daily Dose. Glad you guys are here joining me. So today we are in day number 74. If you guys need a link to the Bible reading plan that we are walking through together, go click that link down below in the description. It'll take you to a website where you can get the PDF file for free that will have all the detail as far as what verses we're reading each day. So, without further ado, jumping into today's summary. So today we read about Samson. Samson, one of the judges that we know the most information about. You've probably heard stories about Samson in Sunday school if you went to Sunday school as a child. But the reading for today starts off talking about the birth of Samson, right? So again, leading up to this period where Samson is going to be helping Israel, leading Israel, we read that Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord again. Okay, so this time they are subdued by the Philistines. They're under Philistine bondage for 40 years. We see that the angel of the Lord announces this coming pregnancy to who is to be Samson's mother, right? So this angel of the Lord appears and says, hey, you're going to get pregnant. And Samson's soon-to-be mother, we find out was barren. So this is going to be kind of a miraculous thing that happens. And we also read that the angel of the Lord says that Samson is supposed to be a Nazarite. So we've read a little bit in the past about Nazarite vows, and there were a number of things that pertained to that. One of the things was that you weren't supposed to drink any wine, any grape juice, don't eat any fruit of the vine, and you were also not supposed to cut your hair. It was usually a vow that was done for a period of time, and then it was over with. It was normally not something that was done for a lifetime, but we read that that Samson was to be a Nazarite. And so during the pregnancy, his mom wasn't supposed to be drinking any wine or eating any fruit of the vine, things of that nature. Anyway, Samson is born, he grows up, and the next section kind of talks about Samson's marriage, okay? So he grows up and he ends up finding this Philistine woman that he's interested in marrying. And, you know, again, the Israelites were not really supposed to be intermingling with Canaanites in the land. They weren't supposed to be doing that. But Samson says, hey, you know, I've got my eye on this girl. She's cute. I like her, whatever. So he wants to marry this Philistine, but his parents are leery. They aren't really super excited about it. So this goes in to tell us a story about how Samson and his parents are, I guess, going down to meet this Philistine girl and her parents. And this lion comes out and attacks Samson's family. So Samson is protecting his family, and he basically tears apart this lion with this almost like superhuman strength to protect his family. Samson is a bad dude. And by bad, I mean he's pretty hardcore. He's got some serious strength. Not a guy to be messed with. So anyway, Samson and his family get down to this town where the Philistine girl lives, and there's kind of a celebration going on. Samson tells a riddle, and he ends up getting into a little bit of trouble with this riddle. And I won't spoil that for you. You'll have to go read to find out for yourself what happens. But he tells an interesting riddle and kind of makes a bet. Says, hey, I bet you guys won't be able to figure this out. And it gets him in a little bit of trouble. So his potential wife, I guess, gets given to another man because of the debacle with the riddle and everything else that happened. So we read that Samson gets mad. He gets upset. He's got a temper. He decides that he's going to get back at the Philistines. He takes a whole bunch of foxes, and we read that he somehow attaches two foxes together, 2 by 2. He ties them together by their tails, and he also ties a torch to them. And I'm assuming he ties the torch to a rope. The rope's attached to them. He lights these torches, and the foxes go running off through the fields. And these torches that the foxes are dragging just sets everything ablaze. Just sets all these crops on fire, sets everything on fire, and causes a huge mess for the Philistines. So the Philistines hear about it, and they come for him. They're upset. They're looking to get their revenge. So this is another description of Samson's fighting skill and his strength. We read that Samson kills 1,000 Philistines that come for him with a donkey's jawbone, right? So apparently there was a dead donkey somewhere. The donkey had kind of disintegrated, and the bones were just left laying around. And so Samson picks up this donkey's jawbone and proceeds to kill 1,000 guys with it. This guy is like MMA, old school MMA fighter. So we read that Samson goes on to lead Israel for 20 years. Samson's story gets interesting and tragic as we move on into the next daily dose, but we'll just leave it there for now. One thing that I wanted to touch on briefly for my point of interest today is coming at you from the chapter we're reading in Psalm today. In verse 11, it says, "Why do you hold back your hand, your right hand? Take it from the folds of your garment and destroy them." This is another reference to the right hand. We've talked about this before in previous daily doses. That this is David. David appears to be talking to God, and he's talking about these people that are wicked and causing trouble, the people that are unrighteous in the land. And David is saying, why do you hold back your hand, your right hand? And then we go to read in the New Testament that Jesus is referenced to being at the right hand of God, and in effect, ultimately, like he is the right hand of God, right? So it's almost like David is saying, why do you hold back Jesus, your right hand? Take him from the folds of your garment and destroy them, right? So just something interesting to think about, another reference to the right hand that could be relating to Jesus. But anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. Today was a little bit shorter of a summary, but nonetheless, I thank you guys for being here, and until we meet again, deuces.